Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have some classic mage gameplay for you guys here on Tolvaron Arena versus a Thug Cleave. But I'm playing Arcane. We're actually playing a really unconventional comp today, but it's a video I wanted to make because I thought you guys might want to try this comp while you guys are pushing for your end of season titles. Remember, the season does end here in just a few days, but a composition that I was playing last night that I thought was very fun was Arcane Mage, Feral Druid, and a Resto Druid. Now this is a comp that I have not played at all. Played it last night. We got to around 26, maybe a little bit higher MMR for some of the matches, and I had a good time playing it. So general strategy is you're going to be doing a lot of AoE spread damage, and that's with Arcane Explosion, Arcane Barrage, and with that Resonance talent, you're going to be doing a little bit of cleave damage, and it's going to involve a lot of defensive line of sighting, defensive kiting, and a lot less polymorphs. As I say that, I am going to get that full sheep on to the Disc Priest, and we're going to continue that CC chain with the half Cyclone while we're kind of doing damage to the Hunter and to the Rogue. However, this is not really the main win condition. I'm getting very low here. I'm going to Trinket, Tem Shield, Prismatic Cloak, Double Blink into the corner. I'm going to run as far away as I can to try to survive. Now that full sap coming out onto the Trinket of my Resto Druid into the Fear, going to the Ice Block, the Massive Spell does come out. I'm at 2% life, blink back, blink forward once again, catching some heals from my Resto Druid, and I barely hang on and survive there. So that was a very long CC chain onto my Resto Druid, and in the meantime, got the Ice Block from me, the Trinket from me, the Temp Shield from me, a lot of defensive cooldowns. That was like a very close call. So from here on out, I want to position in a way that I'm not putting myself in a situation where I can be swapped to. This is a great example. My Druid's kidney shot, and I'm like 100 yards away behind a pillar, making sure that the Rogue can't kidney shot the Druid and then come back to me, right? If he wants to kidney shot my Druid and come to me, he's gonna have to work for it, and that's what I want you guys to do in your games. Now that kidney shot's almost over and the trap's almost over, I displace back and blink back across the entire map. Look at the Rogue. He gives up trying to swap to me because I am so far away from him, and I was pre-kiting him so he couldn't actually connect onto me. Very important to do if you have no Trinket, if you have no Ice Block, and you really have no outs to survive. These are the type of plays you're gonna have to do to survive, right? Once again, playing far from my Resto Druid, because if they want to CC the Druid and then get to me, it's going to be difficult. So playing very far, max range. Now the kidney shot comes out onto my Druid, and I see that they're running towards me, right? I see that the kidney into the trap is coming on my Druid, and they're running towards me. I'm going to play distance once again. Once they get to me, I pre-pop this Temp Shield. Guys, I don't have Trinket. I don't have Ice Block. My Druid's in the full trap. If I don't use a defensive cooldown here, I'm going to die. That means I'm going to pre-Temp Shield this go. Get stunned here, get restunned. The Fear comes out, and the only reason I survive right here is because I pre-Temp Shield and I got back to full HP. Beautiful Temp Shield there to keep myself alive. Now my Feral Druid's getting very low. He does pop Wall. He does pop Bear Form. He has Thorns available as well. So he has a lot of defensive cooldowns keeping himself alive. And now, once again, I'm playing pretty scared. My Druid does get full kidney shot. My Resto Druid gets full kidney shot. Probably a trap or some type of Fear to land after that. There's the trap. I'm getting very low on HP, but I have a blink available. I have an invis available. I have a mass invis available. And keep in mind, my normal invis, guys, gives me a 60% shield ball for 3 seconds. So you can use that, even though if you know if it's going to break, just for a 3-second wall as well. Keeping up this consistent pressure though. What am I not doing? I'm not pushing in, going for polymorphs. If I'm doing that, I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm going to die. Playing very far, playing max range. Now I have the Trinket available if I need it. Saving it here on these cheap shots though, because my Druid doesn't look like he's going to be in too long of a CC chain. Juke, the Shadow Word Death there, or the Premonition, and here is where I'm going to get a sheep because the CC chain ended on my Druid. I am not scared because the CC chain already happened, and I'm already full HP, okay? This would be much different if the CC chain hasn't happened yet, and they're about to CC my Druid, and I was at 40%. that means I would be running. Since I'm full HP, the CC chain just ended. I'm okay for the time being. This is when we push in for a bash into a full sheep, trying to get a little bit more CC out, squeeze out all the defensive cooldowns from the enemy, the cloak coming out from the rogue, the roar of sacrifice, and the turns coming out from the hunter. He's at 20%. This is when we have momentum. This is when we can push in, try to finish off the game here. Rogue's getting very low. He does go into that cyclone, throwing up a slow onto the priest and into the hunter, getting a little bit more cleave damage with the arcane explosions, with the arcane barrage, with the arcane missiles. Stun does come out onto the priest, trying to blink and eat that trap. Don't quite get it though. Mass invis onto my rusted druid, so he doesn't get any follow-up CC. Rogue's getting very low. Hunter's getting very low. That Bell of Silence into the full sheep once again onto the priest, and I'm going for the sheeps. Why, guys? Because my druid's not in CC, I'm topped off, and we have momentum. That's when you want to go for CC. You don't want to go for CC if those things aren't true, and the rogue goes down, hunter goes down right after, and we do manage to wrap up this game. So we had a couple close calls. We had a couple close calls with that pre-temp. If I didn't do that, I would have died with 2% blinking around. All of that probably could have been avoided with a little bit better positioning, but that was that game. Keep in mind, guys, want to stay far from your Resto Druid, want to stay far from your healer if they're getting trapped when you're fighting Thug Cleave, because if they're going to get that trap, guess what? They're going to be 40 yards from you, and they're not going to be able to deal damage until that trap is almost over. All right, guys, and here is another match here on Black Cold Arena. This time we're fighting Jungle, which is very popular on ladder right now. I'm not sure about in the European region, but in NA, we fight Marksman, Hunter, Feral Druid all the time. And they don't really want to come out and play, so we're going to have to wait here in the middle. I kind of like starting here in the middle and kind of playing around this middle pillar, running around in circles, really trying to line of sight the hunter because he's marksman most of this game. So I'm going to really point that out. Xaryu subscribed during the stream, so once again, shout out to him. But the Feral Druid opens up onto me, and I'm kind of just line of sighting the hunter. I really want you guys to pay attention to my positioning, because if my positioning wasn't very specific in this match, I would die extremely, extremely fast. Since I'm just line of sighting, they are going to open up onto my Feral Druid, go for the full sheep onto the priest, because I'm not really the target of choice. Pop all my offensive cooldowns once we get that CC, and the hunter is already about 50% life. The Feral Druid does trinket that bash. We want to keep that in mind, because if he has no trinket, we could do a potential swap to him. Although, when you're playing Arcane Feral Druid, guys, as you've probably noticed in these games, it's not just a swap 100 to 0. A lot of the times, it's this bleed pressure, it's this rot pressure, as we're kind of running around the pillars, surviving, and then when the healer pretty much goes out of mana and they're out of defensive cooldowns, that's when you're going to take these games. That's what we're doing right here. The Cyclone comes out on the hunter. Any Cyclone is a good Cyclone when we're playing this composition. The reason I say that is because even if he's 10% life or 20% life, just cloning him low, we can always hit someone else and get them low as well, and then the clone on them low, and then we swap back to the other target low. Clones help us keep that pressure going. Once again here, guys, trying to line of sight the hunter, but I'm trying to not line of sight my Resto Druid, and the hunter and the Feral are getting so low here that the turns does come out, or swapping over pressure onto the Feral now. Priest having a very difficult time keeping them alive. The counter spell does land. I do get silenced there. The pain suppression comes out onto Jamie's, but 10% life. The Blood Elf Silence coming out. Arcane Explosioning everything, cleaving everything. And this is kind of the strength of the comp, guys. This is what we're aiming for. Just cleaving down 2 DPS while CCing the healer. And sometimes you can even cleave down all 3 of them with no CC at all, depending on how much momentum you have. He does Premonition or Shadow Word Death, the Polymorph there. Unfortunately, I'm taking a little bit more pressure. Come out to Mass Invis my Resto Druid, but I want to quickly stay in line of sight when the hunter's not CC'd. So since the hunter was stunned there, I can poke my head out a little bit. But now since he's you know, coming back out of that CC, want to continue to line of sight. He tried to wind burst me there, poked my head around the pillar. He couldn't get that wind burst off. I'm in the open for a little bit here. Probably want to get back and line of sight as soon as I can. Here I do that. I'm blinking back to my Resto Druid. Don't want to line of sight him too much. The bash comes out onto the Feral Druid, continuing that spread pressure. The priest is at about 55% mana, right? So we want to drain that priest mana as much as possible, keep up the spread pressure as much as possible, while playing to really like survive. Like that at the end of the day, we're gonna win in mana. That's the goal. Tons of damage coming out onto the hunter and the Feral. Feral actually does get Roar of Sacrifice by the hunter. Don't know if I like that choice. He could have Roar of Sacked himself. But the more and more this team gets on their back foot, the better and better we're going to do as this game goes on, right? It's kind of like a very momentum-based game. It's not really just like a lot of the compositions that I traditionally talk about here on this channel are, you know, you're going for a lot of cross. You see maybe a kidney on one, a cheap shot into fear on one, a kidney and a sheep on one, and then a triple cheap shot on the kill target, right? Like that's kind of how you would play something like RMP. But in this, you guys, you're really just living, you're rock pressuring, getting CC when you can, but it's not the most important thing. And then when you get that CC, that's when you're going to be helping those offensive cooldowns. Here we have the sheep into the Cyclone, getting a little bit more damage here onto the Feral Druid. He's about 35% life. Hunter's about 35% life as well. They're both hiding behind the pillar. Priest gets cycloned up and sheeped up, so I'm continuing just to deal damage to the Priest a little bit, but I realize at this point we can push in. I have all my cooldowns ready, so something is going to take a lot of damage. It looks like it's going to be the Hunter. 800k on the Hunter, another 800k on the Hunter, and he does go down. So guys, it's all about the spread pressure, the defensive play, getting CC when it's not putting yourself too much out of position, and kind of taking the game from there. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you think Arcane Feral Druid looks like a lot of fun to play, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and let me know down below in the comments if you are going to try out this composition in your end of season title pushes. Guys, thumbs the video down if you didn't like it so I know not to upload something like this again. And yeah, once again, talk to me in the comments about stuff that you want to see, because I do read the comments. If you guys all want to see a certain type of video, I'll make sure to upload it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.